Welcome to Anelo Let Us Pray session where we learn, equip, empower, grow, pray, see miracles, see prayers being answered, and also hear from our Heavenly Father through prayer. Thank you, Prayer Warrior. Thank you, my friend, for joining today's session. Wow, we are in the month of March. And we were just celebrating the beginning of the new year 2 months back. And yeah, the year is moving ahead. And I'm hoping as well that we are also just pressing forward about being intentional and committed to the prayerful life. And thank you always for listening to these sessions and learning from them. And my hope would be that you are actually putting them into action. You are being encouraged. You are taking God's words, believing in it, and actually seeing it through, um, working in your own life, encouraging you, just equipping you to keeping on, pressing forward, praying and seeing God answering your prayers, my prayer word. And so today we are still continuing, just learning and digging deeper, learning from the book of Nehemiah. We are actually today looking at the second chapter where we are learning and reading about the king Artaxerxes. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. It says Artaxerxes sends Nehemiah to Jerusalem. In the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was brought for him, I took the wine and gave it to the king. I had not been set in his presence before. So the king asked me, "Why does your face look so sad when you are not ill? This can be done. This can be nothing but sadness of heart." I was very much afraid, but I said to the king, "May the king live forever. Why should my face not look sad when the city where my ancestors are buried lies in ruins, and its gates have been destroyed by fire?" The king said to me, "What is it you want?" Then I prayed to God of heaven and answered the king, "If it pleases the king, and if your servant has found favor in his sight, let him send me to the city in Judah where my ancestors are buried so that I can rebuild it." Wow. I remember Nehemiah had started in the month of Kislev. That's when he prayed. When he heard the reports that the walls of Jerusalem has been broken down and the gates are burned down, and that's when he started fasting and praying for days and days. We saw that he started by asking God to forgive the nation, forgive all the wrong things that the nation and his family and himself had done, going against the laws that God had given them at that time. He continued praying for days and days. And today, as we can see, now it's the month of Nisan now, when Nehemiah was carrying his duties. Remember, he's a cupbearer who's the one who was bringing the wine and tasting the wine, drinking it before the king can actually drink it. So now, as he come carrying on about his duties, the king can notice that something is not looking good with Nehemiah, and he asked him. And at that moment, my prayer warrior, we can see a man who lives a life of being intentional about praying, and he did not seize this moment because he had to make such a short prayer at that point in time. One of the pastors that I once bought his book and just read with Pastor David, he said this was a swift dart He sent a dart of prayer to heaven. It was a shortest, because remember, he's there in front of the king when he's asking him. There was no way that he could have said, "Oh, king, just give me 30 minutes. Let me go and pray to God for guidance on how to answer your question." But at that moment, it could have been a silent prayer or a meditation that he had to just quickly send it up to God. I'm not sure exactly what he said. It's not indicated on the scriptures that I've read, but I can imagine he might have just said, "Lord, please guide me how to answer, or what should be my answer to the king at this point in moment." And he was even able to respond to the king, because look what he says. He says, "If it pleases the king, and if your servant has found favor in his sight, let him send me to the city of Judah where my ancestors are buried, so that I can rebuild." And look at this man who um, continuously believing in God, praying in God. He is asking for favor. And what a wonderful God we serve, because he has already aligned, um, prayed, and asked. He has started this with God first, and we will see as we continue, my prayer warrior, because for today I'm just gonna say to be continued, but I want you to be encouraged. And the other thing I just want to take note of, he is in front of the king. Imagine yourself being in front of this important, highly profile person, whether being a president or being the CEO of the company or being the famous whoever. You are in front of this person. You need to make this prayer request so that you may find favor, and you want to see that your request is being granted accordingly. You want to see that the prayers that you've been praying for days and days, we're not sure, from my side, I'm not sure how long it took him, because we can see it was from in another month, now he's in another month. So that clearly could indicate that there was a period that it took him to be at this point in time now praying. And I want to be encouraged. Maybe you might have had those prayers that have been going on, going on, going on. Hold on. Don't lose hope, my friend. Don't lose hope, prayer warrior. Keep on. And at that moment, when you continue and be faithfully doing your part, God is also there doing his part. And God is looking for people like Nehemiah's today to be attentive to his way, to his will, to his laws, to his word, so that we can just align ourselves so that God's will can be done in our families, in our communities, in our nation. Be encouraged, to be continued. Until next time, my prayer warrior, stay blessed.